You just inherited a Roth IRA, and you may be asking yourself the question, what do I need to know about this? What do I need to do? What direction do I invest this in? These are the things we're going to look at in our video today. Hello, I'm John Vandegrift. I'm one of the owners and wealth planning team leads here at Blue Ridge Wealth Planners, where we help people create plans for retirement, but also answer questions very much like the one we're going to cover today. And so we're assuming that watching this video, you either have an interest in inheriting a Roth IRA, you just did, or you're wanting to know what goes into that. We do have a sister video to this that was just released that is an inherited IRA, which are different. We'll talk about those differences. But again, getting into the meat of this, we need to know how to approach this decision. So the first question that we're going to look at, or the first thing that makes this different, is that every bit of money that you inherit from a Roth IRA is going to be tax-free to you as the beneficiary, which is excellent news. So that means you don't have to worry about some of this going away, paying off this with the estate taxes or anything else. With the exception of, depending on your state, even if you are above the state tax threshold, Roth IRAs could be taxable in that regard. But as far as income taxes go, for most people that will inherit this, you will not have an income tax situation or a state tax position if you fall below your state's thresholds or federal. Now, the question that we sometimes need to look at is, when can I take money from this? Or when should I take money from this? So as we look at this, you do have the freedom to take all of this money out as a lump sum, put it toward paying down your mortgage, put it toward some expense that you have. You have full ability to do that. I would, though, caution you to pay attention to 2 or 3 here, because one of the things that makes an inherited Roth IRA such an attractive investment vehicle is that you have the ability, based on the rules now, this came from the Secure Act, to where once you inherit those funds, you have a 10-year runway to not only receive them tax-free, but to continue to grow those funds tax-free. Because just like the inherited IRA, this account will need to be liquidated 10 years after, or in the year after your original owner's death. So that is kind of your limitation there. But as we look at this, you've got that 10-year time frame to be able to invest this money and take any time from it at whatever discretion you want to. We had mentioned with the inherited IRA, you may or may not have RMDs that are required from you as the beneficiary. You do not have those with an inherited Roth IRA. As all the taxes have already been paid on this money, you're now in a position where you can take freely from that account or leave it alone, which is an excellent position and should be factored into the decisions that you need to make. So 2 questions that we normally get when anybody inherits money, but specific to this Roth, is how should I take this money from the inherited Roth IRA and how should I invest it? And again, those are kind of hand-in-hand conversations where some people, depending on the phase of life that you're in, may want to leave this account completely alone. And if you have a lot of years before you work or need these funds, you may put all the money in a growth allocation and just ride that 10-year wave out as much as you can. You may be in a position where you inherit this account and you're at the doorstep of retirement and you want to instead position this money to be accessible for big ticket items or emergencies, or be in a position where it allows you to provide a steady income stream over that 10-year period of time, and then maybe longer than that, but know that that first 10 years is going to have no income tax hit to any of the withdrawals, but also any of the growth of that money as well. So as we look at this, the first step is, if you do inherit this Roth, you do need to put it into an inherited Roth IRA account. That's step number 1. That gives you the flexibility to not just have that money paid out to you. So again, maybe we should have started with that, but you want to have it in an inherited Roth account. That way you have the flexibility to let it go the 10-year time frame or take from it any time in between there. And then working with a professional to determine what mix here or singular area you try to bias toward when it comes to how you want to invest this money is very important. And again, it shouldn't just be based on this account and what you need, but typically when we're walking through a conversation with somebody, we're going to look at everything that they have, not just what they inherit, but how that fits into the total picture that they're trying to create. And this is a conversation that you cannot be too young to have. You want to be able to outline what are the objectives and concerns, see how it impacts, income needs that you have, how you invest this money, tax ramifications. Maybe you need this to pay toward health care, or maybe you need to set this up in a way that's being able to provide a legacy for yourself, your spouse, or future generations. So as we look at this, all of these pieces are going to be built on top of one another, which is important to make sure that you're having those conversations as you inherit it so that you can make good decisions. That's the key. Whenever we have inherited funds, a lot of times it acts like lottery money, especially if there's no tax ramifications like we have with a Roth IRA. And so we want to help you build a plan to make the most of those dollars, use them as wisely and efficiently as possible so that you can continue to get a benefit well past whenever the date is that you inherit these funds. So if you've not been able to find someone that can really talk to you and answer the questions that you like, I would encourage you to click the link below this video. Let us sit down with you and see how we can help guide you along this process, have a discussion very similar to this one, but really make sure that we're understanding more about your situation before we give any type of financial advice or investment planning advice. Just because everybody's different, there's no one cookie cutter way to approach this, and we want you to make a good decision with these funds that you've received and be a good steward of them. So leave us some comments or questions as you have them, and we look forward to sending you more information like this as we move forward, and hopefully enjoyed your time with us today.